Today on Guitar Gear 1, we're going to be doing our first ever shootout. We'll be comparing an American-made Paul Reed Smith guitar to one of their offshore manufactured guitars from their SE line. Let's see what the differences are other than the price. Custom 24 is an all-American workhorse. It looks great, it plays great, stays in tune really well. One of the most versatile guitars that I can think of. And if there's no other reason to buy it, it's that. If you're in the market for a Les Paul, Stratocaster, Telecaster, SG, anything like that, there's not a lot of things that this guitar wouldn't be appropriate for in place of those guitars. Whether you're looking at effects modelers, amp modelers, things like that, anytime you're having something that's supposed to take the place of other equipment, it's never going to be as good as the real thing, but it can be very good in and of itself. The Paul Reed Smith Custom 24, which a little bit of the history of it, Paul started building these in his garage. Started his company in his garage, and it was in 1985 that the Custom 24 debuted at NAMM. Since then, this guitar is just, it's ubiquitous with rock and roll. PRS started breaking into the country scene a few years ago, and it's just an exceptionally versatile instrument. They're expensive, but the thing of it is, not only is it extremely functional, they're very attractive guitars. And so, if you're really on the conservative side of things, you drive a Honda Accord, you drive a Toyota Camry, you like Glocks, whatever it is, this might be a little bit flashier than what you need, but they have models that aren't quite as expensive. Maybe they don't have as many features that are sheerly aesthetic, but overall I find the Custom 24 to be one of the most versatile guitars that I can think of. You have humbucker sounds that you're not going to get out of a Stratocaster. The coils split and sound incredible on their own. The tremolo system is absolutely fantastic, just doesn't go out of tune. You're not going to be able to do like crickets and things like that if you're familiar with Floyd Rose tricks, but the great majority of all the whammy stuff that you'd need to do easily is handled by the bridge that comes on the Custom 24. The parts that are on this guitar are just incredible. When you open up the cavity inside, there's a brass block attached to the inside of the tremolo. That's an upgrade on something like a Floyd Rose. There's aftermarket companies that sell those replacement parts. They come stock with the PRS. The tuning machines are incredible. Again, the bridge is fantastic. These pickups are so versatile that for almost any style of music, they're a perfect choice. Whether you're playing blues or jazz, things like that, R&B kind of stuff. Extremely high gain rock and roll or metal. They're not a bad choice for anything. And so, yes, they're expensive guitars, but you're going to get so many miles out of it. And so if you buy one used, which I always encourage people to do, if you can find something used, just do it. You just can't go wrong. So that's the rundown of the Custom 24. Let's take a look at the SE now. These guitars are here to just wreck everything. You have the LTD line from ESP, you have the Squire line from Fender, And now we have the SE line from Paul Reed Smith. They started these a few years ago, and essentially what you have happening is you have premium materials, mahogany back in this case, maple top in this case, rosewood board, I mean everything you'd expect from Paul Reed Smith. They're sent overseas, and they have a lower cost of production in those facilities. So those guitars are built overseas, sent back to Maryland to the real Paul Reed Smith factory. They go through a final quality insurance process, and you're getting a setup from the real techs at Paul Reed Smith before these guitars come to you. The fretwork is incredible. The neck's set up great. I don't know what else to tell you. When I was looking for my Custom 24, this wasn't really an option. The SE line was just starting to come out. There was none available in any of the stores that I shop in, and I had no idea what was on the way. And just so you know, these guitars come in at a quarter of the cost of their American-made counterparts. Okay, so to each their own, certainly. And you're still going to find more premium parts available on the American-made guitars. But again, when you start looking at, I guess, a point of diminishing returns, you kind of start wondering where you're spending your money. I would most highly recommend checking out guitars from the SE line at this point. And if you have the dough and you're happy to spend it, by all means, check out the American still. But it's going to be really interesting to see what happens over the next few years with these lower cost guitars, because they are getting incredible. So thanks for watching the page. Thanks for coming back to Guitar Gear 1. Hope to see you around.